Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka Russ Selfie, for another amazing episode today with my good friend Jason Zygadlo. And it is going to be amazing. For all of you out there, share this out. Let people know we're on. So excited. Here we go. Do you want to know how amazing people connect? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka Russ Selfie.
Thanks for connecting. And if you like what you hear, please share.
Hey, welcome everybody to Marketing with Russ, aka Russ Selfie. So glad that you're all here today. It's going to be an amazing day. And looking forward to my guest, Jason. He is so good. It's going to be so good. But listen, got a few things to start off with. You ready? Want to thank our amazing sponsors. There we go. You saw this in the beginning. Networking for Students, a great book by my co-host of the Experience Live with Russ and Scott, D. Scott Smith. You can go to dscottsmith.com today and you can get all the information about that book. Also, Showing Up Perspectives on Cancer, a group that has just really supported me and I've been able to support others through. Go to perspectivesoncancer.com. Also, Extreme Graphics, an amazing graphic service and company here in Albany, Oregon. Go to extremegraphics.com and the Alzheimer's Association. Go to alz.org to find out more information about how to support them, how to give to the Alzheimer's Association. I am so thankful for these sponsors. You know, our show is Marketing with Russ, and all my other shows are sponsor supported and listener supported. Want to remind you that you can scan this QR code, or you can go to the link in the show notes and the comments, go directly to the link to give and support our positive message, getting that out there to the world. You know, I consider it a ministry. God has blessed me so much. I want to get positive people, get value out to all of you. And that's what this is all about. And this amazing community has just been so supportive. So thank you for that. All that information, again, on social media. We broadcast on LinkedIn, YouTube, and normally Facebook. Right now, we're having a little bit of issue with Facebook, but we're working on that. So for sure, we're on LinkedIn and YouTube. And I just want to thank you for joining us today. And no matter where you are, also don't forget this show not only broadcasts live at 8 a.m. Pacific time, Mondays and Thursdays, but also then becomes a video podcast, sits on the platforms that we broadcast on forever. On top of that, it converts to audio podcasts. You can listen on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, whatever your favorite podcast platform is. So if you don't have time to watch, you can listen. Isn't that awesome? My beautiful wife listens to her favorite podcast every morning, and when she's getting ready for work, and at night when she's cooking dinner. And I can bet you that Marketing with Russ is one of her favorites. So, all right. Anyway, so glad you're all here today. You know, what is Marketing with Russ all about? You know, what is it, AKA Russ Selfie thing, all that? Well, this show is about how amazing people connect. And I have so many amazing friends. I am so blessed. And Jason is definitely one of those. So thankful for him. And God has brought us to meet together with these amazing people. I just don't know how it all happens. I just believe, and I'm thankful every day for it. Be able to get you so much value. You can connect with these people. Also, we encourage you to engage and connect online, because when you do that, you can actually connect with other people with great value. So I want to encourage you today to do all of those things. All of that will be right in front of you in the comments and the show notes. And so thankful for that. We'll give the hashtag Russ selfie story another time. But if you want to connect with me, I would love for you to connect with me at russhedge.com. All my information is there, all my links to my social media. You can get my email address, my phone number. You can even schedule time directly on my calendar to connect with me. And I would love for you to do that. So again, that is at russhedge.com. We would love it if you would join our YouTube community. It's really growing. And I'm telling you, great value. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of episodes. Marketing with Russ, the Experience Time with Russ and Scott, the Experience Local, and Russ Reels Live are all there. So there is so much value for you. And if you like YouTube Shorts, the marketing tip of the day that we always do is on there, as well as my animals. If my animals are way more popular than I am, my beagle and my cat, they are way more popular than me. I found that out. But anyway, so it's a lot of fun on YouTube Shorts for that. So if you want to join our YouTube community, it's simple. Go to marketingwithruss.live. You know the name of the show, you can get there. So if you know my name, you can find my website, russhedge.com. If you know the name of this show, you can find my YouTube page, marketingwithruss.live. Simple, easy. Also, if you'd be so kind to share this out today, let your friends know what's going on. Tag them and say, guess what? Jason's on. Everybody get on the comments and start tagging their friends and say, listen, love for you to join us today. So, and we are doing that right now as well, letting our friends know. So thank you so much for that. Okay. Last but not least, don't forget, well, actually two things. My books, Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose, and all the amazing collaborative books, international bestsellers, #1 on Amazon that I've been able to do over the last year or so. So much great value. If you want encouragement, though, grab Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose. You can get it at, I know this is shocking, but you can get it at russhedge.com, all of them, or you go to Amazon or any of your online booksellers, you'll find them there too. So I'd love you to get that. So the very last thing we do every Monday and Thursday is the marketing tip of the day. And it just happens to be today around my book. So here we go. Are you ready? This gets cut out, put on YouTube Shorts, put on social media separately so you can share just the marketing tip of the day. It's very short, simple, but you know what? So much value in each one. Okay, are you ready? Here we go. This is your marketing tip of the day. Live the life you choose. That's right. You get to choose. You know, life happens all the time around us. We don't have control over all of life. I get that. But life happens and then you choose. You get to live the life you choose based on what's happening to you and around you. You get to make those intentional choices with purpose and keeping a good perspective in your life and drive yourself forward to a better later today, a better tomorrow. And it is so amazing the power that you actually have. You know, it's a true fact that positive thinking and good perspective and making good choices actually physically affects your brain and your body. Your brain will rewire itself to look for what you're looking for. If you're looking for positive things that keep it a good perspective and mindset, it's going to look for those things. It will also, your health, your body will actually react to how you're feeling, positive or negative. Actually, your organs and your body do better based on how you are looking at life. So perspective is so important. So today, remember, live the life you choose. And that is your marketing tip of the day. All right, there we go. I'm telling you, that affects your business, your life, everything. So make sure and get out there and do that. And we're going to get Jason in the room because I'm excited. Here we go. Morning, Jason.
Hey, Russ. Happy Thursday. How are you today?
Happy Thursday. Well, you know what? I am loving life and hanging in there. You know, been having some challenges, but it's okay. God is good and life keeps moving. So there you go.
Russ, I feel so blessed to be here today. I know our paths crossed not all that long ago. And I've got to tell you, just in the short amount of time that I've spoken to you directly, I've listened to some of your work put out there. I'm so blessed to just, again, to have crossed paths with you and super grateful just for the time that we're able to share. And, you know, you bring a lot of value through what you're doing. And just amazing to watch. Thank you.
Well, thank you. You're a blessing to me. And let's back up and just start from the beginning. Let's let
Sure.
everybody know, who is Jason and what in the world are you up to?
Yeah, such a great question. So in 2025, lots of great things going on. Build Your Own Brand is a new business that I've created not that long ago. I've spent as you know, Russ, my entire career in medical devices and pharmaceuticals right out of college. I loved having a sales career, and it was very enjoyable, lucrative, meaningful. But I had a calling after a cancer diagnosis myself in 2019 to just want to do more meaningful work, and had this revelation of, am I doing what really, and it goes back to your message earlier, choosing the life that I wanted, right? I mean, this is kind of what was the path that I had chose and kind of stayed on it, but I don't know if I was necessarily fulfilled in the way that I am now, helping people and businesses, and just doing different things and inspiring others. And so yeah, just excited, looking forward to seeing what the future holds. And yeah, again, just excited to be here with you.
Well, you have such a positive spirit, and that's what I really loved about you. And I clicked immediately.
We
I
did.
love all that you do. And obviously, we both have, the cancer journey is a lifelong journey. I had such great results from my last treatment, which was great, on the cancer. And then the fun stuff kicks in, and all the side effects started playing havoc with my body,
Yes.
something you have to learn to deal with. But, I always say this: I tackle one thing at a time. And I think this is a good message for life and business. I tackle one thing at a time, and I know with God's help I can overcome it. And I do one thing at a time, and I don't overwhelm myself, because it can get really overwhelming in the cancer journey, but also in life in general and business. Sometimes people are just so overwhelmed. And so, talk a little bit more about, let's just get down to the practical nuts and bolts of what you're doing, and how you've repurposed your life through this whole cancer journey, and really focusing on what you're passionate about.
Yeah, what you said, I can relate to it very well. I think you're right. I mean, things like that can start to compound quickly. A lot of the residual effects, um, I still experience. I've got a lot of neuropathy in my hands and in my feet, and I struggle with certain things. But really, to answer your question, Russ, I had this great career. I get this diagnosis, and over the course of time, I mean, medical device sales. I'll tell you a quick story. I may have shared it with you when we first met. It's a popular industry. People love medical sales, pharmaceutical sales. There's a lot of great benefits to the work that's being done there. It's a great career. I've always wanted to be unique and different and memorable. I always talk about, even now with the clients I work with, how do you break out of the sea of sameness? Everybody's doing the same thing over and over. And especially professionally, in today's world, attention is the new currency. How can you capture attention and stand out amongst your peers? And so for me, I stood out in parking lots handing out my resume, because applying online just wasn't enough. And so what I wanted to do was to be different and memorable. And so as I hung out in these medical office buildings in my suit with a pre-made business card with simply my name, my phone number, my email address, in that shiny folder was my resume. And when the Chevy Impalas and Ford Tauruses pulled in, I would approach whoever got out of that car, because those were the company cars back in the day. And I would say, look, I'm not a low-grade stalker. Can you help me? I'm a first generation college graduate. I'm trying to break into this industry, and I need help. And there were some really, really gracious people. Took my information, passed it along. Little did I know back then, Russ, when someone got out of the passenger seat, it was typically a sales manager who was doing a ride along with their sales rep for the day. And you can only imagine how they looked at me. Wow, gritty, creative, tenacious. This is different. I don't typically see people hanging out in parking lots, handing out resumes. And ultimately, that's how I broke into the industry. And from there, I've just always had this, like the approach that I take on things. I try to be memorable and different. And similarly, when I broke into medical devices, I was told, hey, you're a pharmaceutical rep. You don't sell anything. You drop off lunch and you drop off samples to offices. And that was sort of true. I did do those things, but I was more than that. And I was very excited to break into that industry. And after applying and doing everything that I was doing to try to break into that industry, again, I felt like I needed to put my creative thinking cap on. And how do I separate myself from the pack? So I went to the local mall. I had an upcoming interview. And I bought a pair of scrubs. Typically, on pharmaceutical days of work, I wore a suit and tie. And so I took the suit off. I put the scrubs on. I drove out to a hospital that I knew physicians were rounding on their patients in the evening. They were physicians I worked with, selling them my medication. And I walked into this intensive care unit, and I'll never forget, there was a sign that said, do not enter. And I held my breath. I pushed the button. I walk in, and there actually is a physician that I know. And he's like, Jason, what in the heck are you doing in scrubs in this intensive care unit? And it was like a blessing, Russ. I was like, I am so thankful to see you. In fact, he was a physician that wrote me a recommendation letter. He knew I was looking for new opportunities. And I said, look, I have this upcoming interview. I need to learn about the product. I need to learn the brand you're using. I need to talk to a nurse to uncover why these are used. I need it all. And so I sat there, and smoke was coming off the paper as I was taking notes. And I took all this information, Russ, and I went to the upcoming interview, and I sat down with the hiring manager. And I said, hey, look, before we get started, I'm sure you have a ton of questions for me. Do you mind if I share a story with you? I said, absolutely not. What do you have? Out of the bag, Russ, I pull the scrubs out with the receipt, and I put out all my notes, and I begin to tell them what I had done. Because you and I would both agree, in all of the networking we do and all the things we talk about, everyone talks about know, like, and trust. And in the interview process, you've got 45 minutes to an hour to develop like and trust. And so by me pulling those scrubs out and telling this story, showing the receipt, showing the notes I took, showing the nurse's business card with the information and saying, reach out to the nurse to validate what I'm about to tell you. Because there's a lot of shady people out there doing whatever to get jobs and whatever else. And so you have to know, like, and trust. And to build that quickly in a short period of time is so important. And so after I share the story, and then I couple that with how I got into pharmaceuticals, to make a long story semi-short, that's how I broke into medical sales. I spent the next 20 years selling multiple medical devices, primarily in the cardiothoracic and vascular space. And after my diagnosis in 2019, I decided, I don't know if this is what I want to continue to do. I love what I'm doing, but I feel like over the last 20 years or so, my friends and family somehow anointed me as the guy to come to interview at a really high level, to get really good jobs. And by being able to be different and memorable and tell their story in a very unique way. And so that was tugging at me for the next few years. And finally, with the encouragement of my wife, she said, look, this is your passion. This is your calling. You need to just jump in, not dip your toe in, jump in. And so without any floaties, I jumped into the deep end and created Build Your Own Brand. And really, the premise is this, Russ, to help people build confidence and credibility when it is how they want to approach their jobs and how they interview. People will spend a lot of money and put a lot of time into resumes. And, resumes are very important. It's not a knock on resumes, but I'm of the belief and opinion that even when I was in medical sales and in the leadership role and hiring people, I was duped by a good, beautifully written resume. When the person showed up, there was this disconnect. And so I'm of the belief and opinion, yes, you need a resume to get some opportunity. But how do you sell yourself? How do you represent yourself at a high level? How do you connect like this virtually or in person to build know, like, and trust? Those are the people that get the jobs. And so we're doing lots of creative things. There's a blueprint that I've created, and I'm excited to do the work. I'm passionate about the work, and it's helping people with a variety of backgrounds. Certainly sales. It's helped a lot of nurses nurses burnt out, tired of working at the bedside, want to do things different, get into medical sales. But where I really love helping people, Russ, are also those accountants, engineers, IT folks that naturally don't know how to sell themselves, but they're so polished and so smart, and helping them level up and tell their story so that their resume gets them in, but then they know how to really talk through and share good stories to be memorable and different. So thanks for allowing me to share.
You bet. I mean, what you're doing is so amazing because people don't realize it's an overused phrase. Yes, the know, like, and trust, but it is so true. It is so true because connecting and building community is what is at the basis foundation of any good business, any good marketing plan. You've got to know people and they've got to know you. People have got to like you, and then they've got to learn to trust you. And the quicker you can do those things, the faster you build your business, you build your life. I have done this from the beginning before I even knew the phrase know, like, and trust, because this is the kind of person I am. I love people. I love to connect with them. And I found creative ways, i.e. the hashtag Russ selfie is one of them, to connect very quickly and get people, when it's personal, people tie into you way more quickly. And this is where I use, for example, you're using this amazing story and how you set yourself apart. One thing that I do to set myself apart is I love taking selfies with people, having fun at meetings, being a little crazy, and then tagging all my friends. And guess what? I meet Jason one week, and the next week I show up to the meeting, and Jason's giving me a big hug and saying, Russ, like I'm his long lost friend, because he saw me on Facebook throughout the week or on LinkedIn or on whatever social media with him having fun, and it triggers great thoughts and memories and connects you, just like doing something in the field with the scrubs and the whole story they're learning about that. Being educated is so critical. So I love what you're doing. And so people, when they are, no matter what field they're in, you're willing to help them with this whole process of getting through to whatever they want to do, right?
That's absolutely right. I referenced, several disciplines and areas that people come from, but, what we do, Russ, is this. We work on, the program is built kind of in several pillars. We talk a lot about interview questions and what questions are you asking? What's the psychology of the questions you're asking and the message that that's sending to that respective hiring manager? And then on the contrary, what questions might you be asked and how to answer those questions and the psychology of how you answer those questions and the message that that's sending, again, to that respective hiring manager. We build portfolios, or what I call a legacy list. Let's take every single thing that Russ has done and put it together in a way to be able to present it. And it builds the confidence of the person doing the interviewing. When they look down and maybe they've been displaced, or maybe they're looking to make a change because they're miserable. And when we sit down and do a real deep dive into what they've accomplished, oftentimes they go, wow, yeah, I did do that. And when they see it actually and put together in a beautifully put together template and know how to present it and kind of talk through it in a way to capture attention and be different, supplementing the resume and everything else, it really builds confidence in people and how they feel about themselves. And, we work on building business plans. And, you and I talked a little bit about this, Russ, because you touched on something just a second ago, personalization and the use of the video medium in creating personalized videos with intentionality to send to a hiring manager or to send as a thank you after an interview, in the versatility of how to use these videos, but then also how to creatively send them to entice people to open the video. Because at the end of the day, all we're all trying to do, whether it's call, text, email, video, get our message to the right people. And so this personalized video, strategy has taken this interviewing thing for clients that I've worked with to a whole nother level. And the feedback that the clients get when they hear from the manager going, whoa, You confirmed our upcoming Tuesday 3 p.m. meeting through a video. How did you do that? And the gears start to turn of how can you deploy those strategies through the video use into the practice when you get the job, and deploying that in your business world.
And I don't think people realize how simple some of that can be. Having a strategy, I love that. I mean, that is so important. You got to have an idea of why you're doing what you're doing. You got to be moving with purpose and intention. But it's simpler than people think. A lot of times the personalized videos, I use this in connection all the time. A lot of times I'll just take a short little, hey, Jason, how's it going? Praying for you today, my friend. Hope all is going good. Reach out to people. You know what? In business, one of the number one comments I had as a sales and marketing rep and sales and marketing manager over my many years was when I went out with people, take them to lunch, take them to coffee, get to know them, whatever, they would say to me, thank you for not talking about business.
Yes.
And people think they have to cram things down people's throat. But guess what? When people know, like, and trust you, they automatically become your customers because they know, like, and trust you. You don't have to be cramming what your profession or what your skill set is down their throat. They'll find out because as they get to know you, you'll get to know each other. But a lot of times it's just showing people that you care. Because like John Maxwell says, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Well said. I'll tell you, it's genuine approach, authentic approach. I mean, very simple, very basic, but true. You reminded me of a story, Russ. I was selling medical devices in the Pittsburgh market. It was new for me. And I did not know many cardiac surgeons and interventional cardiologists in that area. And so I reached out to a former colleague. I said, hey, can you help me make some introductions? He introduced me to an interventional cardiologist. We sat down and had lunch. Never once did I talk about my company, my product. I mean, hey, I'm Jason. I work with company X and, sell this product. That was it. I wanted to learn his practice. I wanted to learn about his family. I wanted to learn about everything I could possibly learn and uncover. And when we left, he called the person that connected us and said, hey, what's wrong with Jason? And my friend was like, what do you mean? And he goes, well, he never tried to sell me anything. He didn't even really talk about his products. Like, I mean, I'm not used to that. And my buddy called me up and kind of shared the story with me. And he goes, hey, why didn't you try to, engage with him and talk to him about your products? And I said, because I don't work that way. I genuinely wanted to get to know him and learn to see what we had in common. There's a time and a place for that down the road. Guess what? He ended up being a really good customer of mine, invited to some of his family functions and hung out outside of work. And it was just one of those things. And it was different, albeit it was very simple, but everyone else is hammering these people over the head with, data dumping everything they possibly can and vomiting on them. That's just never been my approach. And there's many of ways to sell things. And my way has always been that. Now, some people are successful by banging on people and doing what they do. But I always said this, Russ, I have to live and work in these markets.
Right.
I never want someone to go, oh, here comes Jason. Let me run down the hall to get away from him because I know what he's going to do and I know how he approaches things. That's just not who I am.
You and I are so much alike because what I used to tell my customers is when I walk in the door, if people run the other direction, just kill me now. And they would look at me like, and I said, because I don't ever want to be that person. I want to be the person when I walk in the door. This is what would normally happen. This is not patting myself on the back, but it's just because I generally cared about people. And like you with developing relationships, I would walk in the door and people would come out to me. I'd walk in the door, the receptionist or the person of first visibility image, whatever they call them nowadays. But the first person that greeted me, I was always super good friends with. And I would just walk right back to see everybody. I'd just say hi to them, talk for a minute, walk back into the office, never stopped because people wanted to come out of their offices and talk to me. And it's because a lot of the time, all I did was give them something like a coffee or something yummy or whatever, and just talk with them.
Yep.
And so, people like to come out to that instead of somebody cramming things down their throat for sure. And man, I tell you, so many great golden nuggets that you talked about, Jason. But I tell you what, we have to pause because the episode's over. We have to wrap things up. So I'm having such a good conversation. What I'd like you to do is tell everybody what your gold nugget of today's conversation is. We're going to do another episode, you and I, because you have so much value. And so tell everybody what your gold nugget of today is, and then let them know how they get in touch with you, because I want to make it clear how people can reach out to you. So those two things, go.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Russ. So I would say this: being genuine, being authentic in your approach, as Russ said, as I say, I think that goes a long way. I think that's definitely a golden nugget. And then I would also follow it up with this: be different, be memorable, find ways to be creative. I talked earlier, break out of the sea of sameness. Everybody approaches things, oftentimes the same way. And sometimes it's just that little bit of a different approach that makes things, who's that guy? What's that about? And so finding your way to not really have to stand in parking lots or break into intensive care units. I'm not asking anyone to do those things, but think long and hard about how maybe you can put a creative spin to what it is you're trying to doing. And as far as connecting with me, like Russ, I love friends. I'd love for folks to reach out to me on LinkedIn. Would love to connect. And if I can help anyone in any way, that would be great. Would love to learn more about you. I have a Facebook page. There's a YouTube. There's several videos out there about speaking on personalized videos and how to be creative and unique and memorable. So yeah, please feel free to reach out. Would love to connect and go from there.
Sounds great. And all your, well, at least some of your connection information is below you, and it's in the show notes and the comments. And listen, everybody, it's clickable. Just click on it, go to Jason and connect with him. Well, your LinkedIn page has been scrolling across the bottom. People can reach out there as well to Jason. So thank you so much today for being here with us. And I just appreciate you so much. Hang tight. I'm going to send you to the green room and say goodbye, but we're going to schedule another episode. So I'll be right there.
I look forward to it, Russ. Thank you, everyone. Have a great remainder of the week.
Thank you, Jason. Okay. Woo. I tell you, even when I'm not feeling good, people like Jason lift me up and get me all excited. I'm so thankful. Morning is a good time for me, but especially with good friends like Jason that really inspire me every day. My wire purpose is to inspire and encourage you to live a purpose-driven life of significance. I want you to stand out in the crowd. I want you to be a world changer, a difference maker. I want you to make an impact on the people around you. God has given you purpose and giving you talents and abilities that nobody else has, because there's only one you. So get out there, use those with intentionality, with purpose. Be thinking about choosing, living the life you choose, like I talked about in the marketing tip of the day today. And we'll have Jason back again soon. So look for that. So thankful for all of you being here today. It's been a blessing. So many in the comments. Please remember, you can also share this out with your friends even after. You can watch on replay, put hashtag team replay, please, and let us know. Talk to us, even though we may not be there live. You can still engage on there, and it's such a blessing, and you can still connect with Jason. Also, as I told you in the very beginning, if you go to our YouTube page, not only can you see Jason's episode again, but many, many more by going to marketingwithruss.live. You can subscribe today, and so much value, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that you can connect with. And so I just encourage you to do that. So with that, we're going to say goodbye for today. Just appreciate you all. Don't forget, we are supported not only by our sponsors, but we are also, let's see if I can get this all together here as I'm talking, we're also listener supported. There we go. And you can scan that or look for the information in the comments or show notes. Thank you so much for being part of this community, for blessing our mission to get great value to you. And until we talk to you again, which will be next episode, which today's Thursday, so it'll be Monday. We'll see you Monday at 8 a.m. Pacific. Have an amazing week, an amazing weekend. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. Be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an amazing day.